So let's meet on our mat in a seated position of your choice. Anything that's comfortable. You can close out your eyes, or you can just look down at the mat 2 or 3 feet in front of you. Placing the palms, the hands, wherever feels good. Again, just do what feels nice. Noticing the body. Let's just take some movement here, since it is a shorter class. You can just have little wiggles, little sways, whatever feels good. Noticing how the body feels in these little movements. Noticing how the mind feels in these little movements. See if you can switch it up. Maybe move in ways that don't maybe feel all that natural, but feel okay within the body because you're just moving. You can take little seated cat-cows here, pull the chest through, and then pull the back all the way back behind you. And let's start implementing the wrists into it. Maybe just doing little wrist circles. You can get the arms, the shoulders into the mix as well. Make it big and exaggerated. Get some overhead side stretching. Just kind of free form. Get the arms into these little cat-cows. Get the head really into the mix as well. Tuck the chin, release the head back. You can take little circles here, kind of leading with the rib cage. Reverse the direction. Again, just free form, playtime, movement. Let's take another side stretch here. Again, just nicely reaching over as far as feels good. I'll just keep it very fluid. That's going to be my goal for this class, is keeping everything fluid. A lot of times I can be very rigid and structured, and I really like to break down movement. But it's really nice to break up that rigidity as well and find some actual flowing. So again, that's what I'm going to be repeating to myself. It's fluid, fluid, fluid. Just keep going back and forth. Move at your own pace. Maybe you want to go a little bit quicker. Maybe you want to go a little bit slower. Start shifting where your gaze is looking. And then we're going to come to sit on our bums. Let's have our feet straight out in front of us for Dandasana. So keeping with that fluid movement, we're just going to do these forward folds and then coming up. And again, get your arms into the mix. There's no right or wrong way here. Again, we're keeping this style more of an art, not a science. And with art, it's your own individual creative expression. Keep going with this. Still being mindful of the stretch, so still trying to get the rib cage down first and foremost, and then working towards the chest and the head. Seeing if you're getting a little bit deeper with every movement forward. Keep going there. Just getting my music turned on. Flowing forward and flowing backward. And then maybe slow it down just a smidgen. You can point up the toes to switch it up a little bit. You get a little bit more of a stretch in the fronts of the legs as well. And then let's come to meet in this Dandasana again. Swing the feet around, coming to meet in a tabletop. And just keeping with this fluid movement, we're just pulling the hips back, tucking the chin, pulling through forward. Again, make it as big or as small, as exaggerated as you want. Maybe you walk the hands a little bit more forward so you can start getting a bit of a upward facing dog here, lowering the hips down a little bit more, maybe dropping the head back, shifting back, pull the hips back, reach the fingers forward, shift forward. Doing this for a couple more rounds here. For the last two, do it a little bit slower than you want to. Really feel every portion of this undulation. And then coming forward. Hang out here in this upward facing dog. If your elbows are bent, that's totally fine. If they're a little bit straighter, push the ears away from the shoulders. Maybe take a little bit of swaying movement here. Notice if all of the strength is in the hands. See if you can squeeze the glutes and all the muscles along the back of your body to help hold you up as well, building strength there. So it's not all the hands, it's mostly the hands, but not all in the hands and arms. And then let's come back up. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And we're just going to go side to side here. So all we're doing is bringing our heels to the right and to the left, back and forth. Come back through to center. Pick up the right leg, three-legged dog. Bring the knee in towards the chest. Push the mat away from you. Step the right foot through. Lower down on the back knee. You can untuck the back toe if you find your balance is really off. Sometimes a tucked toe can help with the balance. So you're more than welcome to play around with both. And all we're going to do here is lift the arms up, look back, and then bring the hands down. You can move your, let's heel toe our right foot out to the side a little bit more, just so we have a little bit more movement here. So we're in a little bit of a low lunge lizard pose. So come down, lift up. Take it slow because there's balance that's required here. Coming down as far as you want, lifting up. Just flowing back and forth here. Squeezing the left glute. That'll help stabilize everything. If any one portion of this movement feels really good and you want to hold it and find some stillness, by all means. One more time. Let's come to meet in this low lizard, or in this lizard. We're going to heel toe the foot out a little bit more. You can come onto the knife edge of this foot, and you can stay right here if this is intense enough, or you can lower down onto the forearms. If you try lowering down into the forearms and it is too much, there is no shame, no harm in coming back out of it. It's great to explore, but it's even better to recognize when something isn't serving us. And if it's just the ego that's trying to bring us there and keep us there. Slowly, gently coming up out of this. Heel toe this front foot in a little bit more. Shift the hips back and straighten through this front leg. You can flex through the foot as well. Pull the hips back even more. If it's not comfortable to have your hands all the way down, if you've got blocks, you can have your blocks here. And all we're doing is shifting from this low lunge to this modified split kind of stretch here. Getting a stretch along the front of the body here. And then we move back, we're getting a stretch along the back of the front leg. So again, make it fluid. Maybe you come all the way up at the top. Just optional, you can keep it smaller. And then all the way down, closing off the gap between your body and the leg. Make it your own. For these last couple rounds, move a little bit slower than you want to. Come back up, scooch the front foot back, so we're in more of a 90-90 position. And then just come to a tabletop. Tuck the back toes, lift up, downward facing dog. Let's shift forward here into plank, and then pull the hips back to down dog. Plank, down dog. Tuck the chin, rolling through to plank. Lead with the pelvis. Down dog. Two more times. Move a little bit slower than you want to. Meeting in downward facing dog. Lifting up the left foot, moving away from a wall if you kicked it like I did. And then pulling the left knee towards the chest. Push the mat away. And then see if you can step the left foot through. Of course, you can always use the left hand if need be as well. You can tuck the back toe, or if you find it helps with your balance, then by all means, leave it. Let's heel toe the left foot out a little bit. So we're in a little bit of a lizard, not a complete. And then same thing here. We're going to lift up. Maybe you implement a little bit of a back bend. And bring it down. As low as feels good. Lift it up. Let the head go. Bring it back down. Again, lift it up. Bring it down. Squeezing through that right glute, it helps with the balance, moving a little bit slower if the balance is proving to be a challenge. And maybe not going as deep. Keeping keeping the range of motion a little bit smaller if need be. 2 more times. And then we're going to heel toe this left foot out, come onto the knife edge, lower down onto the forearms. Hanging out in the lizard. Again, sorry, option to move to the forearms. We stay up on the palms. That's beautiful. Again, noticing if you've gone too deep and always coming out if need be. Trying to keep the neck neutral. It's common to just let the head go, but let's keep some integrity here. Gently coming out of it, zipping everything back up together. Heel to the front foot more central, and shift the hips back straight into the front leg. You can flex through the foot as well. That's going to intensify the stretch. Pull the hips back. Again, use your blocks here if it feels good. And then shift forward. Coming back. Shifting forward. Coming back. And pull through. 2 more times, a little bit slower than you want to. Shifting this front foot back so that we're in more of this 90-90 position. My fingers are tented here. Maybe you do the same with yours, and then just come to a tabletop position. With the heels up to the side as we move down onto our bumps. We're going to come into a now seated 90-90. So my front shin is parallel with the long edge of the mat. My back leg is again coming out, trying to create as much of a 90 degree angle with both legs as possible. Stay there. I'm just going to shift because how I'm going to move is I don't want to turn my back too much. So I've got my left leg in front. Maybe you do as well. Maybe you're mirroring me. But from here, we're going to bring the hands behind us. Lift the knees up so that we're switching sides. Let's pick up this back leg now, bring it in front of us, and then the other leg joins so we're in both. Lower down the front leg, and then sweep the other leg back around. Other side, we're lifting the knees, coming over here. Back leg comes up and through. Front leg, boat pose. Let's lower the front leg. Back leg lowers. Come through. You can use your hands or you can go without your hands. 90-90 on this side. Back leg lifts up. Front leg lifts up. Front leg lowers, flex through the feet. Back leg. Soles of feet come in contact as we switch sides. Back leg. Front leg. Boat. Lower the front. Lower the back. Switch. We're going to do this a few more times. Work at your own pace. Hopefully you've got the rhythm of it by now. If not, ask any questions that need to be asked. And of course, if your legs are bent for boat pose, then that's perfect. I'm shifting off my mat, so I'm just going to readjust. Do whatever you need to do. We're going to do each side one more time. Let's come to hang out in a 90-90. I've got my left leg in front, and we're just going to work on some little muscles here. So this one is a little more technical. We'll get back into the fluidity of it. You can lean forward towards the front knee. This will make it easier. Just try picking up the back heel. Maybe this is really challenging for you, or maybe your foot lifts up a decent amount. We're using the glute medius. It's a smaller muscle, so if you lift it up and you really feel that working and it feels like it's cramping, it's fine. That's just an indication that it needs strengthening. If this feels relatively easy, you can sit more upright, which will make it harder. So if you couldn't feel it before, you should really feel it when you're more upright. So just doing little pulses wherever you are. We're trying to get some internal rotation, so you can picture your femur bone. This is my femur coming out of my hip, rotating inward as we lift the foot up. And again, you can put your hand on the muscle to feel where it's really working. You can squeeze through different areas, hold it. Just to bring even more of a mind-body connection to it. Lift up a couple more times, then we're going to hold it at the top. 5, 4, 3. See if you can sit up a little more. Upright. 2, 1. Slowly lower. And shift to the other side. Right leg is now in front. Stay there. Beautiful. And we're just doing the other side. So again, start off leaning forward. You can frame that front knee. For me, this is my right knee. Pick up the foot. Again, if it's hard, if you're barely lifting it up, then just stay, keep working here until you can get it higher and higher. If you're lifting it relatively high, you don't feel it too much, a little more upright. And again, picturing the femur bone here, rotating inward, inward, rotation. Lifting up, you're gonna feel the muscle. If it starts to cramp, give it a little break, let it breathe, and see if you can get back into it. Keeping movement mindful. Lift it up. Let's do it 2 more times, and then we're going to hold it. Ready, hold. For 5, 4, see if you can sit a little more upright. 3, 2, 1, slowly lower. Let's shift into a wide leg straddle, but keep it a little bit more narrow than what you do with a longer hold stretch. We're just going to do a little flow here. So let's start, not quite bringing our hands to the back of the head. I find it's a little uncomfortable, but like we're going to bring our hands to the back of our head, we just don't quite make it. And we're just going to hinge forward. As deep as you can go, come back up, reach up and over to the right. Come back up, hands up, and lower to the middle. Back up, the left side. Through the middle. If the middle's really hard, don't come down as deep. Coming up. Lower and lift. Other side. Reach. Slow it down a little bit. Middle. Other side. Reach. And through the middle. Other side. And in the middle. Keep going. A few more rounds. Let's do each side 2 more times. Last one. Getting around to doing the last one. Let's separate the feet a little bit wider. See, I'm just kind of inching my feet. Make sure we can always get that anterior pelvic tilt. So here's your pelvis, the bowl of your pelvis. You want to tilt it forward. So you're poking your bum out behind you. If you can't do that, you just have to narrow your feet, narrow your stance a little bit. And from here, we're just going to inch forward. Come to whatever your stopping point is. If you have pillows or bolsters or anything nearby you that you want to prop underneath yourself, by all means, you're welcome to. Whatever props you know you like, by all means, use them at any point in time. But they're not necessary. So don't feel like you need a prop to enhance your practice. You can find little swaying movements here, or find stillness. See if you get a little bit deeper with every breath, even if it's just a millimeter. We're going to hang out here for a while. Keep working with your breath, continuing to get lower and lower. Taking 2 more slow breaths here. And then with the next inhale, coming up a third of the way. Exhale. Next deep inhale, come up another third of the way. Exhale. Coming up all the way deep, inhale. Exhale. Sit back a little bit, gently bring the feet together. The next little flow we're going to do is challenging. It's definitely a little strength flow. And so just what I like people to recognize is, like the first time I tried this, it was not fluid, it was not pretty, it was a challenge, but the more you do something, the more your body gets used to it. So it definitely takes practice. So if you try this and it does not translate well, don't feel discouraged. Again, it takes a couple rounds to really get the hang of it. So let's come to meet in a low lunge here. So I've got my right leg forward. We're going to plant our hands. You can have the fingers tented or use blocks. That'll give you a little bit more space, and blocks might be very helpful here. Maybe I'll show it. Here we are. I'm just going to see if I can show with blocks. You can choose your setting. The highest setting will give you the most space, and then you can work your way lower, but it might be nice to have these blocks just to try with this first one for the support. What we're going to do here is pick up the back knee, Pull the left knee towards the chest and bring it through like a pistol squat here. So you can see my bum is levitating off the ground. And then I sit the bum down and come into a boat pose. Okay, with blocks, I set down the right foot again. Pull through. You can use the blocks for help here. Step this foot back into this lunge again. So not too crazy, but it can definitely be challenging, especially after a few reps. We're going to do this 5 times. So keep your blocks. Otherwise, if it's feeling okay, you can try it without. Lift the knee. Pull the foot through. Pistol. Sit on the bum. Boat. Always the option to bend the knees. Staying on the right leg plants down, lift up, bring the left leg back, lunge, lift the back knee, pistol, lower to the bum, boat, plant the right foot, lift up on the bum, straighten through the right leg as you bring the left leg back behind you, lower the knee. I think this is our last one. Pick up the left knee, pull it through, pistol, lower to the bum, boat. Plant the right foot, pistol, pull it back, lunge. Really feeling it in the front quad there. From here, we're just going to shift back, switch legs. Again, keep using your blocks. Whatever you did on this side, tuck the back toe, lift the knee, bring the weight into the front foot as you bring the right knee towards your chest, bring the foot through, lower down into this pistol, lower to the bum, boat pose. Plant the left foot, shift the weight up and forward, straighten through the left leg as you bring the right leg back behind you into this lunge. That's 2. Pull the right leg through, pistol, bum, boat. Plant the left foot, pistol, straighten as we pull the right leg back, lunge. Pick up the knee, pistol, bum, boat. Plant the left foot. Pull it through the lunge. Again, lift the knee, pull the foot through, lower to the bum, boat, plant the left foot, lift everything up, lunge. Last one, pick up the knee, pull it through, bum, boat, plant the left foot, lift up into this lunge. Shift the hips back and tuck the back toes. Tabletop through to a child's pose. Breathe. Let's walk the fingertips over towards the left. Getting another side body stretch. Reach out through the right fingers as you pull back with the right hip. Walk the hands through to center, and then off to the right. Reach through the left fingers, pull the left hip back. Come back through center. And we're just going to pull through these child to up dog. This little flow again. So with the hips back, reach the hands forward, and then you have enough room to pull forward into a gentle little upward facing dog. Elbows can be really bent. If your elbows are bent, really pull the chest through, and then pushing back. Come through, forward. Maybe bring the gaze up. Shift back. Use your core to lift the hips up and then pull them back. Again. Pull it back. Doing this for a couple more rounds. And then come through to tabletop. And let's do a little side plank, back and forth. We're going to do it from our forearms, and then maybe I'll give the option to do it from our hands. But let's just gently ease yourself into a little forearm side plank. I've got my right forearm down to start. So if this drill is really heavy, keep one foot down to help. I've got my left foot behind me. You can bring it in front as well. Play around with different things. Extend the left arm up, reach it overhead, almost like we're taking a little bit of a wild thing here. So I'm opening up my chest, reaching the left arm back behind me. Bring my gaze down. We're going to unravel, coming to a forearm plank. And then the other side here. You can lower this foot behind you. Reach the arm up, back behind. Look down, through to center. You can also always just lower to the bottom knee if that feels better. Reach up and come back through. Come through to center, lower the other side, reach up and through. Through to center, other side again. Open it up, come back down and through. Forearm plank, lower the other knee, reach up the other hand. You can go ahead and try this from, if you're feeling like you want something more invigorating, do it from the hand. You can always lower the knee here as well. Come through to plank here. I've got a hold muscle on this side, so definitely modify, makes it feel better. So just listen to your body. And again, strive to move a little bit slower than you want to. One more round each side. Come to meet in plank, hold it here. Push the mat away from you, straighten the arms, shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Rounding a little bit through the upper back, tuck the tailbone down, suck the belly button towards the spine, hold it. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift back into a downward facing dog. You can walk it out here. Take any little movements that feel good. And then just walk your feet to the middle of the mat. Hang out here in ragdoll. Let the hands go one vertebrae at a time. Ripping the mat apart with your feet so that we're engaging the glutes here. Rounding up. Head comes up. Very last. Let's try to get some balancing, some standing balancing flow into the mix before we run out of time. We're still doing good. Bring the weight into the right foot. Hands can come to your hips to start. We're going to point our left toe behind us. Make sure we're strong and stable through this right knee. All we're going to do here is come into a warrior 3 position. So we're just hinging forward, lifting up the back leg, moving slow, maintaining our balance. And then bending through the left leg, pulling it through, extending it in front of us. Bending and bringing it back. Warrior 3. And if you lose your balance like I did, just tap down and get right back into it. Come back forward. And you can keep with that bending knee variation, it makes it easier, or you can flex through the foot and really pull your left femur up into your hip socket so that with a straight leg, it skims past the mat and then up through. So you're just keeping your legs straight the whole time. You can keep the hands hands where they are. If you want to do something else, when they come out to the side, you can have your hands through to heart center. Maybe they come to heart center and then open up, or into an airplane as you come back. Just to get a little more movement into it. Do whatever you please. Feel the muscles in the right leg working. Keep your gaze focused to help with the balance. Alright, cooking. We're doing it 2 more times on this side. Stick with it. Keep that right leg strong. Straighten out the knee a little bit without hyperextending and locking out the knee. Come back into a warrior 3. Hold it. Keep the hips square, so if your left hip's popping up, pull it down. See if you can pick up that left leg a little bit higher, getting it more parallel with the mat. Lower the front body a little bit more, a little bit more. See if you can slowly come up. Hopefully you felt it all along the right side, the posterior chain of the right side. It burns so good. Shifting the weight into the left leg. You can start with your hands on your hips. And then let's point to the right toes behind us. This left leg is strong and stable. Check in with it. And then we're just picking up this back leg as we shift forward, coming into a warrior 3. Just start here, like we did on the other side. Bend through the right leg as you bring it in front of you. Standing upright. Bend through the right leg as you bring it back behind you. Hinge forward. Warrior 3. Reach back through those right toes. Keep the leg really active. Will it to go a little bit straighter. Same with here. Depending on your hamstring flexibility, your leg might be bent, but you're striding to get it straighter. Bend through the leg. Bring it back behind you. Reach, 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 reach. Checking with the left leg. Is it bending a lot? Keep it straight. And then the option, keep the foot straight here. So flex through the foot. Or you can keep with the bent leg variation. Bring it through. Maybe you implement the arms however you did on the other side. Maybe something different for this side. Move slow. Keep your gaze focused, especially for these balancing poses. Keep willing your leg to go straighter, whether it's in front of you or behind you. It might not cooperate yet, but it will respond quicker if you're pushing it. Breathe. We're going 2 more times here. Bring the foot in front of you one last time and then bring it back into a warrior 3. And we're going to hold it here. Point or flex through that back foot. Reach, reach, reach. Try to get the leg higher, but keeping the right hip down. Hips are square. Lower the upper body down a little bit more. Hold it. Slowly see if you can come up. Gently release. You can shake out the legs. Or if it felt like we went longer on that side, we did. Breathe deep. Typically the right leg's stronger, especially it's our predominant side. So there can always be a slight strength and balance here. So to counter it, try to do a little bit more with the left side. Let's work our way back down onto the mat. And we'll just take some slower, longer holds here. Let's start with, I'm going to do a chest opener. We'll do that at the end because it'll be a nice segue to a Shavasana. So let's actually start with a pigeon. We'll work into the hips a little bit more, so just by whatever needs necessary. You can get set up. I've got my right leg forward to start. Check in behind you, make sure this leg is jutting straight out behind. You can have your shin closer in towards your body, or if you like the shin more parallel, heel toe it forward. Come to your depth, so as low as you can go on this, and you'll notice your pelvis, your hips are really splayed. So once you're at your lowest point, square up your hips even just a little bit. You'll see that I lift up a little bit. So we're still working into the range, the flexibility, the mobility. But again, to stave off any imbalances, we're going to implement some stability, some strength into that. So by squaring up the hips, you're using the muscles here, but we're also trying to stay deep. So again, we're just getting a good mix of both. You can stay upright, or you can start lowering yourself down. Just make sure you're still squaring up the hips when you lower. Stacking the fists maybe, resting the forehead on the fists. If the belly is really collapsing here and you've got that arch through the back, suck your belly button into the spine. Keep it engaged and strong. Reaping as many benefits from this as possible. To keep the back leg a little bit more active if you want, you can push down through the top of the foot, engage the quad, maybe the knee lifts up a little bit, and square up the hips a little bit more. Again, it just brings a little something, something to the pose. And then you can relax. Maybe you can even get a little bit deeper into this. And then once you've relaxed, push to the foot again, lift up a little bit. Again, it's a really good way when we are implementing that strength to get deeper into a pose. So use the strength, square up the hips, push down through the top of the back foot, and then relax. Let it sink down a little bit. And all we're trying to avoid here is just veering too much to the sinking down and collapsing. We want to make sure we've got some strength implemented as well. Keep working with that strength and then that opening up. We'll do it a couple more times on this side. And the next inhale, coming all the way up. Just swinging your back leg in front of you. Get it set up as you swing your right leg. Or for me, it's my right leg. So your other leg back behind you. Get situated, get comfortable. Check in with that back leg. It's right behind. Shift through the front leg if you like the shin more parallel. Come to your lowest point here. Again, notice that the hips are really splayed open here. And then try to square it up. You can even shift this leg, the knee forward a little bit and help you square up. Then from here, lowering down, opposite fist on top. Keep squaring up the hips. And then same thing here. You can push to the top of that back foot, square up the hips even more. You can see the height that I'm getting here. And then slowly relax. And again, push, find that stability, that strength. And then open up, maybe even a little bit deeper. Make sure you're getting your core into that mix. When you push into the back, to the top of the back foot, and square up the hips, you're sucking the belly button in towards the spine too. And releasing. A few more times here. this side. Last one. Gently bring yourself up. Swing your right leg in front of you. And we're just going to come into a butterfly stretch here. So soles of the feet press against one another. You can kind of open your feet up like a buck if you want. I grew up doing this stretch in dance. Something we were always told is not to grab your toes, and I find a lot of people grab right for the toes. I don't know if it really matters, but it's just one of those rules that's stuck in my mind. So maybe just grabbing the tops of your feet. You can even use your thumbs to massage into the arches of the feet. Well, really using your entire hands to massage into all of your foot. You can find some movement here, rock around, try to find some degree of comfort. And then you can start to hinge forward. You can use your elbows as well to push down, or for a little bit more, you can use your hands to push down on the knees. But take it really slow. We're going to hang out here for a while, so definitely let your body adjust to it. As always, if you're like me, you like to find a little bit of swaying movement, then go ahead. Otherwise, you can maintain some stillness as well. If you want, you can do the same thing as we did in pigeon and bring your hands in front and stack the fists, maybe resting the part if that's really far. You can also grab a block, just wherever you are. Use whatever setting feels good. Gently coming out a third of the way with a deep inhale. Exhale. Come up another third, inhale. And exhale. Coming up all the way. Exhale. If you've got blocks, use them here. We'll make this our final Shavasana. We'll just make it a little bit more of a chest opening. If you don't have a block, then that's totally fine. But I'm going to set up my blocks in a bit of a T. So this one's going to be here as a pillow. You can set this one on the lowest setting or the second setting. Might feel nice. I wouldn't go any more than that. Try to keep your butt on the ground and then just play around, find a point where it's comfortable. I've got a butt in my head, so that's going to kind of hinder me. There we go. So yeah, if you need to change the setting of the pillow block or get actual pillows, then by all means. And then once you're in a comfortable position, let the arms come out to the side. Again, we're looking for some expansiveness through the chest, through the shoulders. You can bring your arms a little bit more to a Y. You can keep them at a T or bring them down a little bit lower, whatever feels good. Closing out your eyes wherever you are. Relaxing your tongue away from the roof of your mouth, relaxing the jaw, the area around your eyes. Relax your scalp and your temples. Relax everything in your neck, the front, the sides, the back of it. Relax through the collarbones. Let the shoulder blades melt down a little bit more heavy. Relax down through the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, palms, and fingers. Coming back through to relax a little more deeply through the belly. Allowing the hips to get that much heavier. The thighs, the entire length of the thighs, from top to bottom, letting the knees get heavy. Working from the tops of the shins and the calves, inch by inch, letting them melt down heavier into the mat until we get down to the ankles, the heels, the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet, and the toes. Listening to your breath for the next couple of rounds of it, or just the sounds around you. When the mind inevitably wanders, just noticing it when you do and gently pulling it back. Gently pulling your back mind back to the here and now if it wandered. Gently opening up the eyes, allowing the light to infiltrate your mind. Gently curl up the outer edges of your mouth, bringing an ever so slight smile onto your face. You can start wiggling through your fingers and your toes. With your own blocks, just being mindful, but maybe taking a big good morning stretch. Tucking your chin in towards your chest, and then easing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Resting your wrists on your knees with palms facing up, point your fingers and thumbs gently touch. Let's take our 3 final breaths here. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale. Again, inhale. Last one, inhale. Bringing the hands through to heart center. And in closing, we say, Namaste.